Hey guys, RPM here, hope you're doing well. Having a really great day. This video I wanted to explain how I was able to solo mine Bitcoin and also mine Kaspa on a Raspberry Pi 4. This is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, where I would use a Raspberry Pi, which is very low power, as a host computer to accommodate my little Gekko Science USB miners, as well as my fk33 FPGA, which both of these devices connect by USB. Now, I just did a live stream doing this, and so I want to explain in this video, just like a conclusion video of everything, how I got this all set up, which thank you to everyone in that live stream who helped me out. You guys are the ones who helped me go through this and set this all up. So I'm just going to consolidate all this into one video here, just to show you guys, which commands we used, how to set up my fk33, and notably USB Bitcoin miners, which I had a pretty fun time trying to get working. But ultimately there is an easy way. I did specify in that live stream as well that I thought I could also get this Intel Arc GPU to hook up to my Raspberry Pi, but unfortunately it does need a PCI Express adapter, like a GPU enclosure. A riser like this will not be able to essentially kind of like adapt PCI Express to USB. Alright, for a host device like a Raspberry Pi here. So yeah, USB to USB on there would not be able to communicate the Intel GPU here. So I was going to try to mine Dynex on this, but as well, recently Dynex is not supporting Intel GPUs because of something about 64-bit float compute or something. Anyways, let's start from the beginning, how I set this all up. Okay, so I have a basic Raspberry Pi here. This is only a 2 GB RAM model. This is one of the cheaper models I got off Amazon, link down below. But as well, you do need a micro SD card to install a OS on it, okay? And there is a specific OS. I'm going to explain that in a second here. We did have some fun figuring that out in the live stream. That was a lot of fun. But anyways, I used a 256 gigabyte micro SD card. It's probably too much, but you can probably get away with, I don't know, 32, 64 gig, or maybe 128 gig, just to have that extra capacity. So I just used a micro SD card reader to USB to burn the image on here, and I'll show you guys which software we use. So let's go in the computer. I'll show you guys the rest of the steps, how to set up everything. Okay, so once you plug in your micro SD card, you'll want to use something called Raspberry Pi Imager, version 1.75. You can download this, just Google it, Raspberry Pi Imager. It should be on the Raspberry Pi website, and you're going to install it and then open it up here, and then you're going to choose the OS, the operating system. Now, I had some fun in the live stream. We did figure out that 64-bit OS is compatible, but may not be compatible with the specific mining software, such as Team RedMiner. Okay, so Team RedMiner, for instance, for the fk33 needs 32-bit ARM HF. Apparently that means 32-bit process for installing this software. Okay, so that's one thing that when you choose the operating system, we went with the stock one that was recommended. So when we go to choose OS, you want the Raspberry Pi OS 32-bit. So we simply clicked on this, then also choose storage, okay, which was my 256 gig micro SD card. It'll show up there. You click on that, and then you'll want to go to the wheel here to set SSH. You want to enable this, use password authentication, and then you'll want to set username and password, and set your username and password so that you can SSH or actually VNC, which I wanted to VNC into it because I wanted to have the graphical interface such as this. Okay, so you can see here we're using VNC Viewer, Real VNC Viewer, which is a free download. But the thing is, you do need to connect a mouse and keyboard, because once you get into it, you'll want to go to the Raspberry Pi Start here, Preferences, Raspberry Pi configuration, you'll see here, you'll want to go to interfaces and enable VNC. So you can get the GUI interface, the graphical interface. SSH would only be in command line. For me, I'm not familiar with that, so that's why we went with VNC for anyone that wants to do the same. But anyways, enable that, then you'll be able to go and use real VNC. I'll show you guys an example here. If I opened up real VNC viewer on the computer, it'll show up like this. And this is the IP address that you'll most likely see when you're starting to set up your Raspberry Pi. Okay, but anyways, going back to the here, advanced options, you set the username and password, save, and then you write the image to your micro SD card. It'll say finish. You simply take out the micro SD card and then you place it into your Raspberry Pi. All right, next, for anyone that, I don't know, is gonna do this, I don't know many people that have the Force Kitten 33s, and stay tuned. Okay, we'll talk about the Bitcoin USB mining here in a second. I do wanna also talk about like a giveaway or giving me your Bitcoin address in the comments. I'll talk about the requirement there in a second. Regarding the FPGA mining here, I did do a video quite a bit ago on using Ubuntu. But since we're using a Raspberry Pi, I wanted to use a Raspberry Pi because it's such a low power as a low power host PC. That next, you'll want to download Team Red Miner. Okay, so there's an update here 3 weeks ago. Depends when you watch this, there's probably going to be a new update. But we're doing the ARM HF version. You download that. Okay, it's going to go to your downloads folder. So here, and then we're going to go show in folder. And then simply you'll want to extract this one. So extract to here. Okay, it's going to open up in a new folder. You can rename it if you want. I did it myself, so it was easier to type it into terminal. I'll show you guys what I mean in a second, but once you extract it, now you can just go to terminal, open up terminal. I'm going to make it a lot bigger here so you guys can see what I'm typing. So next, what you want to do is go to your downloads folder, okay, CD downloads, and then you want to go to the folder that you just extracted, so Team Red. You can hit tab here to auto-populate here. Then you'll want to type in basically this whole string right here. I'm not going to type it out, I'm going to copy it, but you guys will see it right here, paste. Okay, so this is specifically for the Force Kitten 33. Okay, make sure there's no spaces. You might see an enter here. Oh, I just started it. Oh, let me cancel it. And I can hit the up arrow and make sure it looks something like this. Okay, so this is where this is basically to get it start mining and such. Sudo period / Team Red Miner. You need the algorithm for CAS. You'll need the parameter for the mining pool, and then you'll need your username, wallet, and then the .fk33 or whatever name you want to put. And then there are a bunch of different other parameters here dependent on which FPGA you have. So you'll probably want to read that in the Team Red Miner, the how-to guide, the README guide about which FPGA you have, different voltage requirements, voltage parameters, numbers that you can do, overclocks, undervolts, to get that, you know, sweet spot. So I actually already have it running right here. Okay, and so I'm getting about, what, 2 gigahash at 91 watts. And I can clarify that on the meter here. It actually says 120 watts. So 120 watts just by the HP server PSU by itself. Okay, so that's pretty good, I feel. 120 watts for 2 gigahash. It's pretty efficient, but obviously not as efficient as a KS0 or, you know, all these new iServer ASICs. All right, now let's talk about the Gekko Science USBs. Now, I had one heck of a time trying to get this rig going, this Raspberry Pi going with the Gekko Science software. So we tried to use the recommended Bitcoin merge software, but we used WREC CG Miner -Gekko. Apparently there is a new version here. It was made just recently, about in March 1st this year. But since we're using Linux, okay, these releases are for Windows only. So the first thing you want to do once you're in your, you know, Raspberry Pi and everything like this, you go to a web browser, you go to the GitHub link here, have that link down below. Then you go to code. Next, you'll want to download the zip. Okay, this is going to download the, I guess, repository here. Then you're going to want to go to the show in folder. Okay, it's going to go up into your downloads folder. You're going to see the zip file here. You're going to want to right click and extract to here. I already did that already, so you can see the folder was made here. Now, here's the next part, which I had a lot of trouble with, but we were able to go to this, and thank God for this GitHub here They show exactly the type of codes that we'll need to put into terminal. Okay, so what we had to do was go open up the terminal at the top here. Then you're simply just going to go through all of these commands here one by one, line by line. Okay, don't just copy everything and then just go ham. Just, you know, you're going to do everything one by one. So copy the first line, you're going to go back to your terminal and you're going to paste that in, and you got to press enter. Okay, I already done it during that live stream, but just to mention to you guys, anyone that's doing the same thing, just follow this. Okay, link down below, just follow this whole thing. Make sure you go through each line one by one, copy and paste in each command, do the next one, so on and so forth, and then ultimately it's going to ask you to do a reboot. Then, once it comes back in, again, you're going to want to open up terminal just to get it. I'm going to show you guys here to get it mining. I did turn mine off here. So once your terminal's up, you want to go to the folder, CD, and then it's in your downloads folder, wherever you saved it. Then you'll want to go to CD and then CG Miner, press tab on your keyboard to auto-populate. Should come up CG Miner-Gekko-Master, press enter. And then to get mining, you're going to just do this. I'm going to paste this in. Okay, so you can just copy this. You're going to probably have to type it all in, or maybe use a USB stick, copy your Bitcoin address, everything over into a notepad or something, a text editor. And yeah, sudo CG Miner-O for the server, or whatever Bitcoin mining pool that you want to mine to. I'm, for instance, just doing this millpools.cc, and then you have -U for the Bitcoin address, and as well as dot, and then worker name. We just called it USB01. Have -P for password, and then --Gekko-Compact F-frequency 375, which again, thank you to the gentleman in the live chat that helped me out, going down in increments of 5 until it was stable. So press enter, and yeah, the Gekko Science USB miners were then working just perfect, following the guide that we have followed on this website here. Okay, doing all of these commands is very imperative to get your Gekko Science USBs, or even any other, all these other types of USB miners to work, apparently. Of course, there's going to be different parameters for the overclocks for your different models, depending on what it is. They have it here, actually. Compact frequency, 2-pack frequency, new pack frequency, R606 frequency. Okay, so this goes into the batch file command here, parameter, right here. Okay, so we can see now it seems to be mining. Okay, and you can see the chips here, BM13797. These are the S17, based on the S17, Bitmain S17 chips, I believe. And yeah, it's going to start auto-tuning, essentially. It's going to start ramping up, and it's going to successfully mine. I know the Bitcoin Merch did say 400 for the frequency, but I had one that was crashing, so Silicon Lottery, I went down in increments of 5, so I did 395, and then 390, and then 385, and then 380, and then 375, and then it no longer was crashing. Okay, you change that in the frequency in the batch file. If you have a always, you know, changing frequency Gekko Science or any USB miner that's always crashing. Okay, so that's it, guys. That's all I wanted to do in this video. And if you made it to the end of this video, please post your Bitcoin address in the comments down below, and anything positive. If this video helped you out in any way, I will do comment picker and choose a lucky winner to solo mine Bitcoin for a whole day, and I will pin the winner's comment at the top of this live chat after a couple hours after this video goes live. So whoever watches my video earlier will obviously have a higher chance for those that watch this video later. So thank you guys for watching. Again, thank you everyone in the live chat who helped me. This is pretty awesome. Now I can place this on my low power mining shelf, because yeah, I just, I had a lot of like small different type of low power mining, and I thought this Raspberry Pi would be great as a host computer to essentially run, a bunch of USB capable stuff. So I should be able to actually add another, maybe 1 or 2 more devices to that Raspberry Pi, because I have 2 more USB slots. So if I have any more, I don't know, USB miners, I don't know, more FPGAs that require USB, then that should be pretty awesome. Okay, everyone, thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Have a good one. Peace out.